Okay, in this video, we're going to go over how you can do what I call a delayed greeting. We just met Dutch. We're about to meet Duke, who is a 7-month-old Field Spaniel. They both get very excited at the door. They spaz out, they like to jump up on people. We're near a busy street, and often they like to bust out the door. So when you're doing this sort of exercise, it's best if you could separate the dog. So we've already done with one dog. We're gonna do it with Duke now. Duke is a little bit more timid of the two. Now, when you're doing this, you can set your dog up for success by getting it some exercise ahead of time. Take it for a walk, give it about 15 to 30 minutes worth of exercise. Every dog is gonna be different depending on their energy level. Then give them at least 10 minutes to recover. Then you're gonna practice this technique. Now, you're not gonna be able to see me because I'm outside and there's nothing else for me to clip my phone to. So you're gonna be able to see the dog right behind me. What's gonna happen is I'm gonna start the process, I'm gonna knock on the door. I'm gonna, they're gonna open the inside door and leave the exterior door alone. I have given them instructions not to say anything to the dog. A lot of times we create a command word by repeating to say, calm down, every time the dog's going crazy. Well, another time I hear calm down, so I'm crazy. So clearly calm down means go crazy. So instead, I've asked them not to say anything. You're gonna see me reach for the handle and stop, reach for the handle and stop multiple times. This might take you a couple minutes to go inside. I'm not gonna open basically I'm breaking the behavior down in individual steps. I'm gonna start reaching for the handle. Dog gets excited, I'm gonna pull my hand back and let it go to my side. I'll repeat that several times. Eventually I'll be touching the handle, then I'll be jiggling the handle, then I'll be opening the door a little bit, then a little bit more, and each time the dog shows excitement, I'm gonna stop the process. And so this teaches the dog through operant conditioning that when I'm calm, the process of the humans coming in proceeds. When I get overexcited, the process stops. Now, dogs go through repetition, consistency, and good timing. You have 2 seconds to correct or reward a dog. And it needs to happen a number of times consistently before they make that connection. So this may take a minute or two. We'll see how it goes. But if you have a dog that gets very excited at the door, this is a wonderful technique. It takes a lot of practice. So having your friends and neighbors come by and practice this is a really helpful thing to do. Because after the practice of the door, they just come inside. You'll see me standing in the door for a second, then I'll come back out and finish end the camera. But your guests would come over, knock on the door, practice this, and then actually leave and not actually come in the house. The coming in the house is the validator, is the reward, is the reinforcement. So we have people come by and they practice all this. You know, the dogs are calm and the people go away and they don't come inside. They don't have that ultimate achievement of getting really spazzy. Eventually you want to work up where your guests come over, do this, and then they come inside. But right now, when you're learning the behavior, sometimes that's helpful to have people just come by and practice the outside, the door, knocking, greeting, coming in, but not actually staying for a visit. Let's see how Duke does. And if you have a dog that's a wrist jump, or push the door open, I might have my foot against the door, preventing the door from opening. Let me put my mask on because it's coronavirus time. We're filming. All right. So you see how excited the dog is. So if I open the door, that's gonna reinforce this behavior that we're not looking to achieve. So I'm just waiting for that energy to subside. This is why if we exercise the dog ahead of time, it helps with that. So that dog's kind of moving around. You see the energy's coming down a little bit. I'm not going as crazy. So I moved away. I'm gonna now trigger the sound of the door opening by hitting the handle. That causes the dog to come back, but I didn't open it. It goes away. I reach. And I reach, I don't know if you can see it in the camera, when I reach, you got excited. Moves away, so now I can jiggle it again. So I want to make the sounds that are associated with the entry without culminating in entry. Now I open it a little bit, and then I close it again. So I knew he was going to be excited, so I've got my foot against the door again. And if you can see, I don't know, hopefully you can see, I don't know what the reflection, if you can see very well, but his energy is quite a bit lower now, although it's only been about a minute. Now I've had dogs where I have to sit out here for 10 minutes. But he comes towards the door and the door closes. Most of the time we have guests come over, we're in a hurry to open the door and just go on in. So you see now, I'm opening the door, he's not lunging at it, he's not jumping up on it, he's not barking. His tail's wagging, but it's low, which is what we like. He moves away from the door, and I can open it even more. Comes back, I close it. Now, it's not that I don't want him to meet me, I just don't want him to meet me in this crazy energy. So he started to jump up, so I just backed out. I probably went a little bit faster. I want to make this a shorter video, but don't cheat. Take as long as you need to take for this. And this is a sort of situation where, remember, the goal is to teach the dog the behavior we're looking for, not to have a quick greeting. And eventually you'll get there. But right now all we want to do is just have the dog learn. Being calm is what causes people to come in. I'll open it a little bit more each time. When he starts to come out, the energy stops, so I stop. And again, always be ready to have your foot up here if you think the dog's a flight risk, especially living there next to a really busy street like we do here. I'm gonna wait for a sit this time. Now I'm not telling him to SIT. He looks like he's halfway there. So I started to engage with him, I started to pet him, and he got up. So by stopping engaging with him, I'm not saying I'm punishing him, but I don't want to continue to reinforce that crazy excited energy. Now one last little tip. Where your hands are is going to matter, and what you got in your hands. So I got my hand here, putting some high value training treats in. I'm going to hold my hand low. So again, when you do this sort of thing, practice ahead of time or set it up ahead of time by having the dog get a lot of exercise before you actually practice this. Just make sure they get about 10 minutes to recover. And the last little bit, I had the treats and I was holding them down. You notice how he jumped up a little bit, but he was jumping up just because of habit. If your guests always come in and you give them like 10 treats and hold them in their hand, they're holding their hand low, the dog's nose is here, it's going to prevent the jumping. And then I asked for a sit. As soon as it sit, I released a treat. As it got up, asked for another sit, released a treat, and went back and forth. Eventually the dog learns if I just come and sit at the door, I get a lot of treats. Little tip for you.